Good morning, guys. Today is March 15, 2017. And, past couple days, we've been having slow days. Nothing a lot has been moving. And today seems like, could be potentially another slow day. Plus, there is around, I think, 2 p.m. Eastern, there's the interest rate hike talk. And that would affect the markets, and so I think just because of that, a lot of traders might not be participating today, or same thing kind of what happened yesterday. Not a lot was moving. It was a bit slow day, but again, slow days are not bad. You could take advantage of them if you just wait for the A quality setup, like we did yesterday with NVLS and DRWI. Although in the morning RLJE, I jumped in prematurely right out of the gates, and that usually never works out the best way. So we'll see what happens. Right now, what I'm watching, what is my main watch for today, is Cool, KOOL. Now, Cool does have a history of making past, moves. Let's say back here, back in July 2016, it went from 350 to 684, and then this day it went from 360 to 460. This day went from 282 to 484. The only thing with Cool is it doesn't really hold its gain. So if in the past, past chart history always matters. And in the past chart history, you can tell that, usually it just comes back down, or when it gaps up, like this day it gapped up. The previous day close was 367. Next day it opens around 426. So a good enough gap up, and then it just basically crashes. Today, what I do like about it though is pre-market. It is showing some sort of strength. It's not showing weakness. It's kind of hanging there, consolidating just below this 380 level. So what I like about this is it was kind of forming this ABCD pattern on 5 minute here, or 1 minute as well, but 5 minute just kind of seems clear. So went up, came back down. That was A. Went up B, just to 280, or sorry, 380, and that was resistance there. Comes back down, and it was kind of hanging there, and that was the C point, right? A, B, C, and then the D would be once it starts curling back up and it breaks through this 380. That's your entry, and then your exit is basically the high of day, or past that. So the entry on this would be break of 380, and then look for the quick break of 394, the pre-market high, and then instantly move to 4. Now this has to be quick. It can't be like go to 380 and then come back down, then goes up, and then it has to basically just show strength by just pushing through these numbers: 380, 394, and then 4. Those are the three key numbers on this. If it breaks 4, we could potentially see up to the 450s. That's where the next resistance seems to be. But other than that, this could potentially have a good run up. That is my actually only watch right out of the gates today. This does have a float of 2.3 million. Oh, and there's a press release about encouraging study results out on this today. So it does have a press release, low float, gapping up. It's gapping about 30% right now pre-market. So all the categories that we look for, and it fits all that. So potentially watching this right out of the gates. The next one I have is OCRX. Now OCRX has been on my watch list for the past few days. I'm just kind of waiting for a daily setup and volume to pick up, because it went up on high volume for 2 days right here. So for this day and this day went up on high volume, then consolidated back on low volume. Now what we're watching is we're waiting for volume to come back in and it break through this 150 151 area, and then potentially could run back up to the 194, even 2s. So that's what we're watching on this. And then CERU is another one. CERU is gapping up. It had a massive day on, I wouldn't say massive, but a lot of volume came in. The thing with CERU is that the float is not, I'll find out the float right now here in a second for you guys. Now I know CERU is here somewhere. Okay. look for the float on this so CERU, it's gapping up today. Had a good day. Went from about 2s to 265s. Had a doji yesterday. On the daily, had a doji but on low volume, and now today is gapping up. So what I'm looking for on this is I'm looking for the break of 265. As you guys can see, a break of 265 opens room up to the threes, and then potentially 320s, 330s. So that's what we're watching on this. Does have potential, could potentially run, but it doesn't have any news out. So there's no catalyst, but the float is below 20 million. It's 18.03 million. So it does have potential, could potentially run, but we'll see what happens. So those are the only three I'm watching today. DPW was another one that I was watching. I'll bring it up for you guys. The only thing I don't like, it's already up 200% on the day. So nearly 200% on the day. From past chart history, it doesn't really hold its spikes. So even that day when it went up all the way to 140, came all the way back down, then went up, came back down. So just knowing that this is already up to 200%, about 94 on RSI, so way overbought. It's going to be just way too crowded, so I just took it off my watch list. Not even going to pay attention to it for now, because even if it does run, it breaks 204, and that would just be temptation to jump in, and then next thing you know, it just crashes. So best to just stay away. So again, Cool is the one that we're watching out of the gates. We'll see what happens once the bell ring. There is supposed to be a one of the promoters, like penny stock promoters, they are sending a alert out. It's the stock market leader. Usually their alerts does usually bring in some volume, so I'll be kind of keeping that on a watch too. And whenever I get that text, whatever their alert is, once I get that text, then I'll just put it up and see what kind of volume comes in and what price level it's at and blah blah blah, or what the news is potentially. So markets are going to open in about 6 minutes, guys, so we'll come back. Until then, sit tight. Alright, so I'm still watching Cool, guys. Cool is being a little tricky. I kind of wanted to watch it for this red to green move. Now there's definitely more volume coming in on the green candles, but it just can't seem to stay up. It's keep getting pushed down. I did try getting in at 348 actually, and then it quickly popped over to 352, and I was like, okay, I missed my execution, but it could potentially come back, and thing was right here. So I tried getting in at 348, but then I canceled it because once it got up there, it just didn't look like, and then it just kept getting pushed back down, so it just couldn't stay green. It went to 353, I think it was. 353, and then it just couldn't stay green. So in order to stay green, it needs to stay above 351, because that's where it opened at, and it just couldn't stay there, and it just kept getting pushed back down. So when it came to back to 350, and I just canceled my order. The reason I was just like, you know what, no, I needed to stay above 350 above 351 in order for me to be like, okay, I would look to get in. But once it didn't, I just canceled my order, and I'm glad I did, because it's being a bit choppy. It got pushed, there's about 208,000 shares came in, and it just got pushed all the way down. Although on the red candles it is low volume, lower than the green candles, but it's just not seem to be able to maintain itself. So for all those reasons, I'm just like, you know what, it's just better if I stay away from now, and then there will probably be a better opportunity at a later time, or on a different play. So we're just watching it. I'll keep you guys in the loop if I do get into something, or if something seems to be setting up. So alright, guys, so we're watching CERU right now, CERU. It was from my watch list this morning. I remember saying that we're gonna watch it if it takes over 265. It did break 265, but the only reason I didn't get in is because as it curled up, the better entry was on the 5 minute first candle, or first 5 minute to make a new high. That was the better entry, which was basically right in the 240s for the break of 250, and now this push. So that would have been the ideal entry for me to jump in at 265. I just felt like it was a bit risky, although it is moving now. You know, in hindsight, everything seems like, you know, easy, but when I saw it jump back up to 265, this candle didn't break it, and then this candle did, and I was just kind of like, no, I don't want to buy this high up. I'd rather wait for a pullback before we break 265. That's what I was looking for. But we didn't get that. It just kind of pulled back a little, and then, you know, just started running again. I was looking for a nice, a good 1 or 2 red candles, you know, just around this area here. Just around this area, you know, pull back maybe to the 9 EMA or the 5 EMA, and then look for either a little U shape or a flag or some sort of entry point, some sort of, you know, a good entry point, because you know, a break of 265 or a push towards 265 is basically the trigger, but to look for a good entry point, you don't want to just jump in, you know, on the break of 265, because that could just bring in a little volume and then just drop. Right now, obviously, this in the hindsight, it looks good, you know, a 20-cent move, but I felt like, you know, if we had some sort of pullback, it would have brought in some more traders, it would have brought in a bit more activity, a bit more better entry. So again, we're just watching for now, see what happens. You know, in the 285s, there's some big sellers, so we'll look for a potential pullback on this, and then a better entry. You know, either a 5-minute setup or a good 1-minute setup wouldn't be bad. A 1-minute pullback, that's what I'll look for on this right now, because it definitely has strength, a lot of volume coming in. You know, in the 5-minute candle, this was you know, 1.68 million shares traded in 5 minutes, so definitely a lot of volume came in. So we'll just watch it for a better quality setup here. So guys, I missed my entry here. I just wasn't fast enough. Right here on this break of 281 was the entry point I was looking for, as this was basically doing a little, you know, a quick pullback, comes back up, it starts consolidating, and then it pushes through. So definitely a good entry point right here. I just missed it on the break of 281. My order wasn't ready because I was just kind of setting up these trend lines, wanting to see if it is an ideal entry point, and then it just started moving. But we'll see what happens here. You know, the stock definitely seems to have attention, and you know, has a bit somewhat of a high relative volume too. So we could definitely see some better quality, maybe a good 5-minute pullback setup. I don't know. We'll just keep an eye on it, see how things go. Alright guys, so CERU is the only thing that seems to be making some moves today. Everything else is just kind of dead. Nothing even in the markets, on the scanners. You know, the same 7 stocks are showing up, but CERU is the only one that's actually moving. Everything else, show you guys here. Everything else is a bit, you know, DPW is going. Cool is just kind of hanging there. Could have a bit of potential on this little U shape, so I'll bring it up actually on my thing here. But yeah, everything else is just basically, you know, PIP was another one on the scanners going down, CPRX just kind of hanging around, and ARNA is going down as well. So you know, nothing's really moving other than CERU. I missed my entry on CERU 265. You know, break of 265 was a great entry point. I just kind of didn't take advantage of it. Wasn't fast enough. Kind of hesitated, and that's fine. That's all right. I just, you know, it doesn't have any catalyst. If it usually has a catalyst, then I'm a bit less, you know, less hesitant. Like I'm willing to jump in and try it out. But without a catalyst, I just feel like, you know, it'll probably be either a chat room or something that just kind of jumped in and other people jumped in, and then once they sell, it just won't have any volume. But CERU just seems to be a little different case. It is building this trend line that's moving up, and here comes the 3. There you go, just broke 3. So you know, that's the one that does have potential, or did have potential, but chasing up here right now would just be idiotic. If I didn't get in at 265, me getting in on the break of 3 is just not the smartest move. And based on that, I'm just gonna stay away from it. That's what happens sometimes. You just you feel like the stock, the price level that it's at, or the break of a certain price level, just it won't have any good pullback entry. I feel more comfortable with the pullbacks than I do with the initial move. Sometimes initial moves are good if you get in early. Like on this, if I was to get in on the break of this 5-minute candle here, here, show you guys on this break right here, break of this 250 red to green move, I would have jumped in right away. But getting in on the break of 265, although it did have that potential, I just didn't feel like that's something I could take advantage of, and I just stayed away from it. But that's okay, because as you guys can see, now it's in the 312, so it definitely had potential. Definitely was one of the stocks that had potential today, especially with nothing else moving. So kind of like similar to NVLS yesterday. Nothing else was moving. NVLS was the first thing that popped up, and then all the traders started jumping in, and it brought in some volume. So similar situation happened here. I just didn't take advantage of it. Right now I have 0 trades so far, and that's okay. If I don't feel comfortable, I'm not just gonna take a trade. This was, although it was a good A quality setup, even on this pullback here, pulled back to the 9 EMA, but it held this 265 break. I didn't go below that, and that was a good entry point there as well. On this green candle in the 270s, and then obviously this trend line would have been nice. But again, that's okay. I missed it. That's all right. Fear of missing out is something, what they call FOMO. It's something that I did feel it did start to kick in, but I was just kind of like, what, Yusuf, if you missed it, that's all right. There'll be 1,000 other plays, coming up next week when the market gets back, or the week after, whenever the market gets hot, there will be a lot of plays coming in. So missing one is not the bad thing. What's bad is chasing it, and I just didn't want to chase in the 280s and 290s. Although it was dipping nicely, building this trend line, I was just like, no news, no catalyst, just traders trading it, and that's what sometimes it is. It's just momentum sometimes, right? So based on that, I just stayed away, and that's all right. So anyways, we'll keep an eye on it for another 5-10 minutes. If nothing works out, I'm just gonna call it a day, just because missing this, I feel like usually what it does mentally, it's like if I miss a good play that I was watching and I wanted to jump in and I just didn't, usually what happens is I'll see something else that's not really there, but just because I missed this, I'll jump into that, and that would end up causing me a loss, or it'll just not even a monetary loss. It'll just be a bad trade without a clear head, and I don't want to do that. So I'll watch it for another 5-10 minutes, see what happens here. I mean, on 5-minute, we still haven't really got a pullback on CERU. 5-minute is still continuously moving up, so right now seems like it might break 312 here as well. There's some big sellers there, but it could potentially break 312 and continue grinding up. So right, that was the plan on it. I remember saying earlier, if you guys watched the beginning of my video, was that if it breaks 265, I'll look to jump in for a potential push towards 3, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll come back in 5 minutes or so, and if nothing's moving, nothing's really now in the 320s. If nothing's moving other than CRU, I'll probably just call it a day and go do some studies. I got midterm this Friday, I got an assignment due today, and got a presentation tomorrow, so kind of busy with school as well. So might as well take this time, take the slow market, take advantage of it by doing other stuff. So yeah, we'll be back. Alright guys, so OCRX, I saw it was another play that I was watching on the daily. I watched it for a break of 150, and I jumped in, but I only got a partial position. I only got 25 cents filled, and then I canceled the rest of my order because it looked like a fake out. It looked like that it broke 150, but then it quickly dropped, so I canceled my order. So I'm glad I only got 25 filled, but I'm still watching it to see if it can get back over 150, because it's definitely holding holding these levels, but I feel like It could potentially get back over 150, so I'm kind of watching it to see if I want to add, or if I want to just keep my 25 shares and then I'll just sell it. You know, it'll be like break even. It'll be like a $3 loss. So that's what I'm watching it for now. Seeing what happens here. You know, it just kind of waiting to see if it can get over 150, 151. And if you do get that, then I might jump in. And then my exit would be basically below this 147 level. So my risk would still be pretty small. But we'll just see what happens here. Might add a 149 here. There you go. I just added. Oh, there's a big seller now, 149. So there's a 10,000. You guys just saw that $10,000 seller come up, right? But obviously, I'll have it at 147, 146. So if 146 starts getting taken out, I'll probably just sell there. We do want to see it get over 150. That would be ideally a good entry point. Get over 150. Not sorry, entry point. A good. Oh, I gotta change this to 200. A good point to sell. Be a good point to sell. There is some buyers at 146. That are kind of holding it up, but we'll see. I think it does have potential, especially if it can get over 151, because that would be the or 150 even, because that will be the first daily candle to make a new high after the pullback. And we you know, there's finally some volume came in today, and you know, we could potentially see it break here. You know, there's big buyers going in 147. Obviously my average price is 148.92. That's my average price right now, 148.92. So me looking to get out at 146, 145 is not the worst thing. But I feel like it does have potential. We just need to see that one push come in, take out 147. There you go. We could potentially, if we can take out, there you go, 147 is out, 148 might get taken out here. As you guys can see, there's some big buyers going through. So we'll just watching it, see what happens here. I'll keep you guys in the loop. I just don't want the video to be too long here. It's already about 20 plus minutes, so I'll keep you guys in the loop, see what happens. Alright guys, so I decided to sell at 148. So you know, $1.83 plus $4, so about a $5 loss there. That's okay. I thought it would have potential, and the only reason I got out because it seems like there's a hidden seller at 149 and it's just not going away. 149 is just not going away. You know, back here there's some big sellers went through 149 and 149 just wouldn't move, although over here it was showing that there's only 100. You know, on the ask it was only showing 100, but there was some big sellers going, or big orders going through, but 149 was not moving. And I think I just realized that, hey, maybe, you know what, it has some big hidden sellers, and it might not move. So instead of if it's not going up, then the only direction it's gonna go is down. And based on that, I just decided to get out break even. And that's okay. I am completely fine with that trade. Completely fine. I think it was a good potential trade that could have worked, kind of like CERU. You know how it broke that previous day high and then it just kind of ripped. And that's exactly what I was looking for this OCRX as well. And I felt like if it would have broken 150, 151, we could have seen, you know, back to the 170s, 170s, and then potentially 2. That would have been the back of my mind goal. So anyways, nothing else is happening right now, so what I'm gonna do is just a second. RNVA, somebody just mentioned on Twitter. RNVA is spiking here. Now RNVA, guys, as you guys know, it's that beaten up stock that's been been down for quite some time now. The high of this was 209. If it takes out 209, we could potentially see a run on this, but I do not think there's any news or anything out on it. It's just it's probably just a little momentum that came in onto the stock and pushed it. Sorry, I just need to get that. Let's see what's going on with CERU. CERU. There's that first 5-minute setup on this. Let me see. High Note Studies. 327. Let's see what kind of volume. Oh, so some volume came in there. Probably won't trust this 5-minute setup here. Yeah, I wouldn't trust this 5-minute setup. I think it needs a bit more consolidation before it's ready to run again. Yeah, I think it definitely needs a bit more consolidation. OCRX again, it's kind of hanging around that 147 area. Again, I'm not saying that it can run. I think it potentially it could run. It just I just got out break even just because I didn't like how 149 wasn't going anywhere. And usually when, as you guys can see, it basically had like 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, 5 touch, 6, and it just wouldn't move. It just, even over here, 149 seemed to be a little, and then 150 became a little struggle, and then so it just there's no point of if markets are telling me that there's the 149 is resistance and it's not going anywhere, it's better to just get out break even rather than hope for the play to work in your favor. Let me just add RNVA here. I want to see what's going on with that. Oh, it's coming down. So anyways, guys, I think I'm just gonna walk away before I jump into something that's just not there. I'm okay with walking away with this little potential loss, or the $5 break-even loss, just because I thought it had potential, but it didn't, and I just and that's fine. So thanks for watching, guys. Today's been a bit slow day. Nothing really happened, but we'll definitely pick up from here tomorrow. And we'll see if tomorrow gives us a bit better opportunity, better setups. CERU was the play of the day. Entry was 265 was an ideal entry point, and then the sell would be the 280s, 3, maybe even 3s, right? But it did have some pullbacks and some nice trend, so could have been a good play, but we just didn't take advantage of it, and that's fine. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll pick it up tomorrow, and we'll see if something else gives us a better opportunity. Take care.